Okay, so I am just getting in from work. I'm back home. I went straight to work and then I came home. And if I don't tell you guys the story now, I'm probably not going to tell you. So I figured I'd go ahead and tell you. Friday, to start things off, I flew out. The flight was good. Everything was nice. No troubles, no issues, all the other stuff. And I get to the airport. When I arrive, I pick up my rental and things like that in my house. Driving to my best friend's house was no more of a challenge than it normally is, especially when you're in an unfamiliar place and all that other stuff. I get to my best friend's house. I'm there not even an hour. My rental car gets towed. I'm literally like, we hear a car alarm going off and my best friend was like, oh, you know, hey, put the decal in your car or whatever and stuff like that. And as I'm walking to put the decal in the car, I'm beep, 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 car's gone. So the car that we heard was my rental car, and it got towed. So now that the rental car gets towed, I have to call my best friend. And I'm like, I mean, he's of course inside in the apartment, and I'm just like, best friend, the rental car got towed. And he was like, you're lying. I'm like, no, the rental car got towed. And I'm beep, 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 and this is where I parked, and it's no longer here, or whatever, so on and so forth. So then we have to figure out where to get the rental from. I mean, where, yeah, like they told it, where did they tow it to, and then how do we get the rental car back? Because at this point, I'm just like, you know, not my car, so like. But, so then I called. There was a little thing that was listed in the parking garage, and so I called. And the lady's like, okay, what's the make and model of the car? And I'm just like, ma'am, I don't even know it. I just got the car and then drove the car to my best friend's house. I don't even know. Like, I can tell you it's white. And she's like, well, where did you tow it from? So I give my best friend's apartment complex and all that other stuff. And they're like, yeah, we have it. It's going to be $170 to get it back. And I was like, that's more than it costed me to rent the car. But I was just like, well, Talon, at this point, what can you do? So then we're on a mission to find the car, which was towed to the next city, which means it's even more of an expense because we have to take an Uber there to get it. But luckily, one of my best friend's friends is a Lyft driver, and he lifted us over there with no problem. So then, shout out to Adrian for swinging through in the last minute, picking us up, driving us to the next city over, first off, a mile, in Florida, a minute, in DC, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like, you're gonna feel it. So it was a drive. So then we get there and you gotta wait outside at the little window, and I'm the only person there. Keep in mind 30 degrees outside and I have on Florida clothes. So then, you know, they were like, oh, we need your form of payment and your ID or whatever the case may be. So then I go to put my Discover card through the window and process it and all this other stuff, and then comes back and says, oh, well, we don't take Discover. So why didn't you say that before you swipe my card? So I'm just like, well, before I give you another card, let me go and check and make sure you didn't go through, because I'm not paying you double. So then I was like, well, what do you take? And she was like, we only take cash, Visa, or Amex. And I was like, but they were like, no debit cards. And I was like, well, thank God I have a Visa. So then I ended up giving that, and then they were just like, oh, or whatever the case may be, and then going back into the car, and then you'll pull up to the thing, and then it will let you out, and you're good to go. Or whatever. And I was like, I just want to let you know that I'm going to park this car back in the same spot and don't tow it, because it's going to have to be like, oh, okay. She was like, you're in good spirits for somebody that just got their car towed. And I was like, well, there's not really anything that I can do about it. Like, it's either you're going to pay for the car or you're not going to pay for the car. Like, at this point, like, didn't want to let it ruin my trip. So I was just, you know. Okay, so then after I get the rental car and all that other stuff, we drive back to my best friend's house. The whole time I'm going through this situation, this boy is texting me or whatever. He's like, hey, so on and so forth, yada yada, because I was supposed to meet up with him when I got to DC. I'm not gonna get into all the details as to like how I met him and all that other stuff, but just know I met him like on previous trips when I was in DC or whatever the case may be. So then we've been like trying to keep up and text and talk and all that other stuff and so on and so forth. So then he was working the overnight shift at a hotel, and he ended up having to stay or whatever. And he was like, you know, I'm all about other stuff, so on and so forth, and not whatever. So then, you know, I was like, you know, this is the only day that I have that I can, like, you know, chill out and all that other stuff and see him. So I drive over to his job at the hotel or whatever. So when I get there, you know, there's a lady at the front desk or whatever, and she's like, oh, check. I'm like, no, or whatever, and stuff like that. And she was like, are you Ty or whatever, and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, or whatever. And she was like, you're looking for, let's give him a name. Let's go with Bob. Like, you're looking for Bob, and I was just like, yeah. She was like, he had to go put something and find something away, and he'll be right back, or whatever the case may be, so on and so forth. So then, you know, she's getting into like, oh, you know, how are you? She's like, oh, you're cute, and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, thank you. And like, Bob comes out the back, and you know, Bob has this, you know, whatever, and you know, I'm looking at Bob because just as Bob that I remember, or whatever the case may be. Regardless of the fact, she is laughing and she's tickled, and I'm trying to figure out why she's laughing or whatever. And then so he was like, I'll be right back. And then she was like, Bob fronting. Bob, no, he more feminine than that. So then I'm just like, okay, so he not being himself, okay, or whatever the case may be. And then she was like, it ain't my business. I'm not finna get into it. Well, girl, you done already opened the door, baby. So don't set me up. Come on, let me know what's going on, because I'm not gonna be out here like, let me know, like, whatever the case may be. So then, you know, he comes back or whatever and stuff like that, and he's trying to give off this whole vibe that's not necessarily him. And the whole time I'm now ignoring him, and I'm looking at her face like, you know, let me know, like, this is real, like trying to get her to help me out or whatever the case may be, and stuff like that. And then she eventually was like, boy, stop for it. Like, she said it like real loud. She was like, you know this ain't you. Like, don't set this man up like that or whatever. And stuff just like he was embarrassed. You could tell that he was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for him. So at that particular point in time, I was just like, you know, I think I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna go because yeah, it's already late. I'm tired. Like, I had to work. I had to do hair the following morning. So I was like, no, I'm gonna go. All right, whatever. Like, hit me up, so on and so forth. Before I could even make it to the car, I had him already like blocked. Like, needless to say, so that was Friday night. Saturday morning. First of all, I didn't even get home. So it was late. Like, whatever. So then Saturday morning, I wake up and I'm supposed to do hair for my friend who's graduating at 8 o'clock, turns into 8:30. So then I'm like, where you at? Oh, I'll be there at 9:05. 9:05 come, nothing. Then finally 9:37, I think he shows up, and then he's like, I had a barbershop appointment at 11. Oh, you gonna have to move that, like, not if you want, like. So then we start getting into his hair. He needed his hair wash, all that other stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, or whatever the case may be. So finally we get him done. That process was really simple and easy. We get him out or whatever. He makes it to the barbershop. The barber was I think he had to be there by 1 was the time he changed it to, but his graduation was at 3 and it was an hour away. So don't ask me how he was supposed to make that. I was like on his side or whatever. But then he gets to the barbershop and he's like, the barber's running behind. So he's sitting there and he's, of course, mad or whatever. So then, you know, I'm trying to jump into action. Hey, tell your best friend to pack your stuff and meet you at the school. So on the way to the school now, I'm dressed, got on my whole outfit, all this other stuff, and I'm prepared for the weather. On the way, the rental car gets a flat tire. A flat tire. So here I am in like full ensemble. When I tell you, dress pants, dress shoes, turtleneck, belt, cape, everything, full ensemble, bag, all the other stuff, trying to put air in the tire, like me. So then the man comes over and he was like, oh, you know, I might have to patch it or whatever, so on and so forth, and all the other stuff. And I was just like, I got some whatever and stuff like that. So then he ends up putting the air in the tire or whatever, and like sprays like some stuff around it or whatever and stuff like that. And he was like, that should get you there, hold it over and all that other stuff. Needless to say, I made it to the graduation 35, 40 minutes late. However, you know, they named, so I had made it there in time to see him walk and all that other stuff and all that, you know, whatever. Then after graduation, you know, we're standing waiting on the graduates to come out, and it's 30 degrees and I ain't got on no gloves. Now I'm cute, but I'm cold and cute. So like, it's just, oh my gosh, like just sitting there, I'm just like, can we get to the next thing? So then we go out to dinner, all the other stuff. After that, I'm not even going to talk about the dinner table. Not even going to talk about the dinner table. However, after that, back to like the little gathering or whatever the case may be, they rent a car. the tire's going flat again. So the tire pressure light comes on or whatever and stuff like that. So I'm with my friend and I'm just like, hey, or whatever, can you pull over because I need to get air for the tire or whatever. So putting air into the tire, I'm talking about pumping gas. Putting air into the tire, I have to get more quarters out of my wallet so that way I could put them in a machine. So then I ended up putting my wallet on top of the car and I put the air in the car. And put the air in the tire and then I put the cap back on and then I get in the car. But where was my wallet? So then we get in the car, drive back to my friend's house or whatever, his shindig after graduation and all that other stuff. And as I'm getting out of the car, I noticed that my bag's a little light. And I'm just like, where's my wallet? Or whatever. So I go to check where I know that I placed my wallet once I had gotten the coins out of it and stuff like that. And it wasn't there. I checked the floor, I checked everywhere. And sometimes, I half look. So I had to go back and double look and things of that nature. So from there, I was like, Tyler, your wallet was on top of the car. You drove off with your wallet on top of the car. So at that moment, I'm just like, guys, I lost my wallet or whatever. So my friend agrees to, drive me around to go back to the random exit, which we don't know, to get my wallet. Which that's why they tell you to pay attention to, like what you're gonna run into or what you're gonna encounter. So then we drive around to a few gas stations and they finally point us in the right direction. And then when we're getting off the exit, he's like, I think it's further up or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's the gas station or whatever. So we pull over, go in, nobody's looking, all the other stuff. And then he was like, we're gonna drive 5 miles an hour on the highway until we find it or whatever. So I'm looking at everything on the side, like, that's my wallet, that's my wallet, that's my wallet. Nothing in my wallet. And then, I had to give it up hope. I was like, well, let me just go ahead and start counseling stuff and all that other. And then I was like, there go your wallet right there. And then he gets out and literally, that's my wallet. So I found my wallet and we go back to my friend's house and pretty much enjoyed the rest of the night. But I was just happy that I found my wallet at that point.